So with tokenization is not centralized. And I know that's a misconception that a lot of people think. They think because somebody is tokenizing something on a certain blockchain that that value is going to reflect in their currency or their coins that they have. So there's a difference between coins and tokens. It's two different things. All right. So coins is the actual crypto that you buy that exercises the utility of the blockchain. And tokens are just the tokens that's broken up into the ownerships. So non-fungible tokens, NFTs. So non-fungible, just means they're one of one. They're not identical. And you see that on OpenSea, which I will show you guys later. Um, um, excuse me. This notion that everything is centralized. So I use XRP a lot because I used to be the number one crypto bro in the nation. I'm talking about on some real FOMO type crypto bro stuff until I understood what this actually is. It's a financial system. And once I finally realized that, I don't look at it as, oh, by me holding this certain crypto, it's going to make me rich. It's not, because you have to use these cryptos inside this parallel economy to the. So we have a digital economy, then we have a analog economy. And the analog economy is capitalism, this and that and that. That's being converted to or transformed to circle economy and socialism. That's why the UBI, the social housing, things are getting bigger. You know, uh, what's another socialism people like? Um, Entitlement programs like food stamps, all that is socialism. Socialism isn't bad. It's just the fact that the socialism that's going to bark upon this analog world that we're in, or this analog economy, is not going to be retail investor friendly. It's going to really be a sense of control. So, um, I hear people say I use XRP a lot too. So people will say like, "Oh, they're tokenizing the derivatives market on XRP ledger." Yeah, but every ledger is independent from each other. Just because BlackRock put $20 billion worth of treasuries on Ondo or XRP, whatever it is, that doesn't mean JP Morgan gonna have that same value. JP Morgan has to put their own value on their ledger. But the more ledgers there are and the more value on ledgers, the more scarce a currency is, that's where the utility come in at. So what's happening is people thinking, oh, I'm holding this crypto that's going to be tokenized in value, but by me holding it is going to make me rich. By you using it is going to make you wealthy, not rich, because you'll have a sense of control. That's why I was like estate planning and this and that and that. However, if you don't have RWAs, it defeats the purpose of using or acquiring certain cryptos. Now, tokenization itself is not a security. It's the asset that's being tokenized. The majority of the people that buy crypto, they're buying security blockchains. They're not buying commodity blockchains. So, um, who just came in? Hey, what's up, Steph? So, but if you guys want to engage, you can. Like, this is a time we need to start talking, like engaging and within tokenization. Um, Getting RWAs is not hard. It ain't hard at all. You really can, you can lick. you can hit a lick on one, like, estate sales, not estate sales, but tax sales. So tax liens. Um, or you can go to tax sales. Like if you got a tax deed state and just go straight to the county. But that's why I keep naming certain states because you can go to their county and buy certain properties fresh from the county. Now you probably got to be there physically to do it because a lot of these counties are primitive that they don't have online auctions and things like that. However, if you near a tax deed state, that's one way to get uh RWAs for pennies on the dollar. Just because you buy it for $2,000, that doesn't mean it's going to appraise for $2,000. The appraiser doesn't care about how much you got it for. They only care about what the market deem. What does the market deem its value to be? And that's the part of tokenization is like if we deem LeBron last game basketball shoes high value because of all these LeBron fans that want a piece of this, or LeBron fans that's investors that want a piece of this last shoe, we gonna create the ownership into tokens and break it up into tokens so not everybody can have a piece of this one shoe. So that's what it's about. But that piece of one shoe goes on everybody independent ledger. So my goal when I created this space was that everybody value got to be independent from each other. However, if we all are valuable and working together, whether that's through knowledge or whether that's through assets, then that's what a community can be built from. So tokenization, again, is not centralized, it's decentralized. So if I hold my value, whatever it is, that value is not going to reflect on y'all ledger. Everybody got to have their own ledger and their own value. And RWAs don't have to be just gold or land and silver. It can be other things, you know, comic books, baseball cards, watch collection, collectibles, encyclopedia, everything that's deemed valuable, especially things that's already minted. That's because history is going to be digital, so history can be manipulated by being digital. But if it's already minted, they can't change nothing. So that's where the value gonna come in at. Knowledge. All right. Any questions? I don't want to ramble too much or any discussion. If we, you know what I mean.
Yo, you saying buy properties to eventually tokenize them?
You got to speak up, bro. What's up, Trey?
You
Yo,
said
what's up? Made it in.
buying properties to eventually tokenize them?
All right, let me turn my let me hold on. Let me turn my computer up.
Oh, yeah.
Or you're talking to your microphone. Say it again.
Properties in order to tokenize them. Buy
So if you're acquiring blockchain properties, I mean tokenization blockchains, right?
huh?
Meaning the biggest one is Ethereum. That's the number one tokenization blockchain, Ethereum. All right. So if I'm buying Ethereum, I better have some RWAs to tokenize. But we know that tokenization of securities is a security. So now I got to be working on my accreditation, or I need to know somebody that's accredited. So I'll give you an example. Let's say if I pass this test, when I pass this test, and I'm not saying this is what I want to do, I'm just saying this is a hypothetical situation because any of you guys can do it too. All right. So let's just say tomorrow I get my Series 65. I can open my own investment firm. Even though it's small, I can open it. And we can go on a contract, whatever it is. I'm now your fiduciary, whatever it is. We're gonna set up a business trust. And I can be the trustee of that trust. You'll be the grantor. But say all your RWAs gonna be put inside that trust. Now, by me being accredited and I'm the trustee, I can go to these private blockchains and actually tokenize things inside that trust. So once the value of that trust gets over $1 million, now that trust is accredited. So now it doesn't need me anymore. So who's accredited now? The grantor. So that's one avenue.
Ah, okay, I like that.
And could you also do the same thing with like life insurance, like type of thing,
Yeah,
and
so
just
life
have it in a
insurance is
trust,
more
and
like
then you'll become
yeah,
accredited?
yeah, but you need a lot of life insurance.
You just need like
So
$1 million like term policy.
right, nah,
Yeah,
I'd rather do IUL.
probably do it. You on it?
You can do IUL so you can have some cash value accumulate.
Copy.
And look into like and I'm only talking to you about this. Look into the cash value accumulation test. So look into what that means. So if you ever sign up for life insurance, tell them that's what
Mhm.
you want. You want the CVAT,
See that? Okay.
the cash value accumulation test. All right. So that test will focus more on accumulating value as far as your premium will go towards more towards the cash value rather than just building up the policy slow. You see what I'm saying? So, but you have to you have to shrink the so instead of getting $1 million, you probably got to get like 100,000 to 200,000, right, or 300,000. But you can front load it very heavy,
So like basically, you'll just pay more into the policy up front, type of thing.
right? You'll pay it up front, and
Right.
then well, what? All right. So what investors do? Let's say I invest into this startup, right, and the startup skyrocket. I'm gonna take out a loan against that policy. I mean, against that my securities that I have. Then I'm gonna front load that policy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna just keep leveraging debt. Okay, now I'm gonna take that money and pay back that security. Then I'm gonna just pay my premium every month, put a little bit on it. But if you got enough cash value inside your policy, they could just skim off the because your policy is making money as you sleep. So they'll
Hmm.
just take it off the top of the whatchamacallit. But you gotta
Oh,
have
off
enough
of the
money.
cash value of the loan,
Right,
or out of the loan. Yeah.
right. Out of the loan, they'll just take it off the top when they put the money back into account.
That's
Okay,
how
I'm
you
tracking.
become your own bank.
Yes, sir.
So that's one way of doing it. So now when
Don't
you
miss no
do,
payments.
I'm listening. What's up, bro?
Now it's the end of the thing where you can't miss any payments once you get out one of those.
Uh, but that's part of the not missing a payment. They'll just take it out of the cash value.
Yeah, as long as you have enough cash value, you don't have to work. I mean, it's not cool to miss payments, but obviously, if you have enough cash
Right.
value,
You can skip
uh,
payments because they'll take
yeah,
it off
you can.
the interest that you make off your money.
Right, right. So that's the whole point of like making yourself your own bank because you have
And
kind of
then
the
when you
ability.
die, they'll just take it out of the death benefit.
Okay,
If you have a big enough death benefit, it doesn't matter. And the whole point of having this policy is not for the second most important thing is your family having money. Cool. But the most important thing is you want to pay your estate taxes. So you don't have to your family don't got to liquidate none of the assets that you accumulated. They could just
right,
pay their
right.
estate taxes with the policy, the death benefit. But that's part of the eyelid trust. I know I'm getting off subject because we're talking about tokenization, but I ain't tripping. I ain't tripping.
Yeah,
My
You know what I'm
bad.
saying?
My bad.
No, I ain't tripping. I just don't want to, people to get but but yeah, it's called the eyelid trust, the irrevocable life insurance trust. Basically, by you not owning the policy, and your trust owns it, your trust you and your family trust doesn't have to pay estate taxes. The estate taxes are gonna come from the eyelid trust. And then boom.
that makes sense.
Then your pour over will, all your business trust that you accumulated over the years, they'll pour back into your family trust. And then once that happens, you just hopefully you taught your children how to move like you, and then they'll just keep doing the same thing over and over again. So, um, but back to tokenization. Far as Ethereum, all right. So tokenization is not, like I say, tokenization not centralized; it's decentralized, and it freezes everything. The value is frozen. But hey Chris, you'll mute up real quick. Um, however, um, once the value is frozen, the value is only increased by the demand of the investors, people who want a piece of the ownership of the asset. So that's why I say every ledger is independent from each other. And then now all it takes is how much of this certain crypto that I need to move this much value of this. So this is what, like, I know I keep bringing up upland, but man, I'm like, it's it's like the bottom floor of, if you ain't doing nothing else in the blockchain, if you could just get on upland and know how to move in upland, that can be beneficial to you. You know what I mean? As far as you playing defense and having an adequate amount of cushion to play to acquire more assets. So, um, however, uh,
I have a
and
question.
that I'm listening.
So do you believe that we'll be able to, like how we, like if you have, shares in a company, like you said earlier, you feel like we'll be able to leverage those RWAs to acquire more RWAs?
We speaking on just RWAs or upland? I'm just asking.
Well, I'm so kind of both, but I'm saying so in the event that you have X amount of, RWAs on upland, would you be able to use those in the future as leverage?
Hold on. Hey, Chris, Chris,
Oh shit. Hold up.
you mute up real quick.
Hold up 1 second. What'd you say?
You can mute up real quick.
Yeah, my bad. Hold up.
All right. So I'm gonna answer the first part of your question, and then I'm gonna go to the second part. So the first part was, can you use these RWAs to acquire more RWAs?
Yeah, basically is, like if you had shares in a stock and it went up and you'd get a loan against those shares to go buy more or whatever. Um,
Um,
in the future, will it
that's
be?
one way. So in the future, like let's just say hypothetically, I owned a rental company. I mean a rental property, and I got it tokenized. So basically, on these private ledgers, you'll have your own ledger, just like a cold wallet, but it'll be a private ledger. It'll be yours, but it have to. th- th- There is a KYC process, and where they're going to see if you're accredited, either through your valuation or through your knowledge. All right. And when I say knowledge, I'm talking about license.
Right.
So let's just say you pass the test, you accredited. All right, cool. You'll get your property, your RWA, you'll get it appraised, and you'll freeze it, you get insurance on it and everything. All right. Once you'll take that appraisal to that private ledger, whoever operating on that, whatever the validator of the node, and you'll mint these tokens. But each token will represent a share of ownership. And I know I'm kind of going into like kind of over explaining, but I'm trying to get there. All right. All right. So once you do that, you got a pool of investors that you're gonna resell it for. Let's just say it's 100,000, and you got you got 100 coins that's splitting this $100,000 RWA up. You're going to resell it for a higher price. So you're not going to resell it for $1,000 a coin. That's not what it's going to be. So you'll be like, okay, I'm gonna resell it for $10,000 a coin. It depends on what it's going for. So if people don't deem that RWA is valuable enough to get a piece of that RWA for $10,000, they're not going to do that. So you probably got to go down on 1,500 or 2,000, whatever. And if you do that, say if you sell all of them for 2,000, Now you just doubled your value because now that $100,000 just turned into $200,000, and that can happen in the middle of 5 minutes because investing is usually linear. Let me buy and hold, and then the intrinsic value of the security will go up over time. With tokenization, it's circular, so it's nothing about holding nothing. It's about actually engaging with other investors. Like, hey, I'm buying this, I'm buying that, boom, 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 and that's how you're going to acquire more RWAs. So now, by you having these actual cryptos that people are going to be exchanging it for, boom, I'm gonna go. It's gonna be other investors with other RWAs that you can acquire pieces of, or you could take the leverage route. The leverage route that you just said. I'm gonna take my RWA and I'm gonna get a loan to value of probably 70%. You know what I'm saying? So if you get $100,000 RWA, they're only gonna give you up to $70,000 worth of the loan, but it's not taxed. So now I'm gonna take that. You can move it into life insurance, or you can move it into other RWAs or equity. So either you become a conservative investor, or you can become a venture capitalist, to where I'm looking for all these smaller companies. Like most of these companies are going public through specs, whatever you want to say, or how do you say it? Um, Basically, shell companies. Like they're not going the traditional route. They're I wouldn't say hiding, but basically wrapping themselves with I don't want to say it wrong. Now I won't say bullshit company, but basically
Yeah,
they buy.
SPAC is like a special vehicle.
Yeah,
I think it's, what is it called? It's like a special vehicle company, and then you'll basically
Facts,
when you
right?
IPO, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's special acquisition.
special acquisition, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
and basically they're going public through specs. And I
Yep.
think Securitize is trying to do that. They're trying to go public through a spec.
Yeah, specs
Um,
were real big a few years ago. Everybody was, using that
Doing that,
method.
and that's why all that value.
Right.
See how all that value inflated.
Yeah, yeah, facts.
You know what
It
I'm
turned out
saying?
a lot of companies failed.
Right. So now take that same notion and put it on the real estate market. All that value they put into these houses. And your president is saying, hey, we're not finna crash this market. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what he's saying is, hey, we really finna tokenize all these houses and all this real estate. Meaning we finna freeze the value and lock it in. Because most people don't own their houses, they own mortgages. So banks own the mortgage, they're gonna freeze it. And that's what I'm showing you, like Proppy, tokenizing title companies. Proper was the first pioneer for tokenization of real estate in Ukraine, and they opened the LLC in America. Like everything you seeing about wars, like was about either circle economy or RWA is a tokenization. Ukraine is about that Ukraine war is about tokenization. It ain't about um oil and it's about tokenization. Like that's all it's about.
Yeah.
Like they're tokenizing. Like they're token. So basically, all right, what they're doing now is you could do research on this. Basically, it's like this. I know Ripple, they're doing it. So you'll have a special LLC you'll open, and you'll put the asset inside the LLC, but you'll break the ownership of that LLC into the tokens. So whoever owns a part of that LLC owns a part of that actual RWA. So that's how they doing. I don't know how they're gonna do it in the future. I'm just saying that's how they doing it now. And that's how Property was doing it. That's why they was opening up all those LLCs in America and tokenizing all that stuff inside those LLCs and then breaking those LLCs up into a fractional ownerships. So that's what it's about. So now how to get RWAs is it's simple, but it's not easy. It's very simple. It's not easy though. It's not something that you can just wake up and go do. You got to really sit on it. All right, so um, I showed y'all cheap lands before. Um, let me see.
So really, any RWA can be considered anything that currently has value, that
Yeah,
currently has dollar value.
This is a real world asset. That's a RWA.
Yeah, no, I
So it's
know. I
just
was just saying from a standpoint of if if, as far as you looking, um, it
whatever I
would
showed
be
y'all
any
estate sales.
right. So even eventually, I guess basketball cards.
You can
yeah,
find
yeah, cause yeah, we had talked about that, like the basketball
Yeah.
cards, like Pokemon cards, like any of the trading cards and things like that.
I used to come here. That's why I used to come here. They'll have a list of
And so
properties.
more so it'll be about finding the blockchains that these assets are on is what is going to be most
No, you got
important.
to choose the blockchain that you want to put your asset on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, facts.
Is it possible to be on? I mean, to be able to move through more than one blockchain?
Yeah, that's what a bridge is about. Um,
Yeah, I went and got those properties you sent to.
I'm trying to find the right county. Because I'm in PA right now, so I'm looking at all PA land banks. All right. All right, here we go. Some of these. All right, let's see. There we go. Lackawanna. That's the one I was on. Lackawanna. All right, here's a list of properties that's available right here. All of these ain't. These are just vacant lots. It's RWA. There's equity there. All right, they probably got rules. You know what I'm saying? I don't know their rules. That's another thing. This is part of the due diligence, bro. I don't know everything. All right.
I played against them in college, Lackawanna.
So, um, and these are the sizes. It's a vacant lot. Um, but all of these are RWAs. Let's do this.
That house is in Scranton, the one you just showed. Oh no,
Um,
no. I was about to say, I had no idea Scranton had houses like that.
but this here we go. This is a RWA. I don't know if the land gonna be the land and the building. That's something you got to do due diligence on. You see what I'm saying? But this is RWA. So that's one I can put it in the chat if y'all want me to. But I'm only in PA because PA got land banks that the county will, they selling vacant land and basically they trying to increase their property value through uh rehabs. Like, hey man, we'll give you this house for cheap. You can live in it for 5 years or do something with it for five, whatever it is. But it could be land if you can keep it maintenance. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm just giving you the avenue to go down when it comes to finding RWAs. And the only reason I'm in PA is because these are deed states. So basically, you don't got to worry about once the county give it to you and you meet if you can follow the contract it'll be yours outright. It's like you ain't gotta pay no mortgage on it or nothing. But I prefer like lands in the country. I don't like um Philadelphia and Pittsburgh and stuff like that.
I don't like the Steelers or the Eagles either, so I get it.
All right, here we go. So, and when they say the land value, that don't go by the market value. That goes by the assessed value from the county when you pay your taxes. The market value is what people are willing to pay for it. So this probably can be appraised for $2,000, and there you go. Now you done took $300, and you done got it appraised for $2,000, and that appraisal can. That's where the value is going to freeze at with that appraisal. Oh, this is worth 2,000. We're going to freeze it. Boom. Now we're going to store the ownership into these tokens. But that's if you into tokenization. A lot of people ain't in like a lot of people buying crypto because they hear like people on the internet saying, "Oh, this crypto gonna make you rich and this and that and that." But I am of a high vibrational conversation, dude, where I'm like, "Hey, this is a monetary system, and you got to know how to move within the monetary system." So buying something that's going to so-called make you rich is not the best avenue to take. Buying something that you're going to use to acquire your wealth, whether that's through commodities or whether that's through securities. However, just know that when you're dealing with securities, you have to be accredited. So that's all I'm saying. And don't, like I say, don't wait until they come out and say it. Like, go read about it. So now it's like, make a decision. If you want to be accredited, work on it. If you don't, get rid of it. Or go find somebody who is accredited. So through their knowledge, not through their value. Because if they're through their value, they're going to be very selfish. They don't really care for everybody. All right. All right. So here's a purchase application here. Put this in. Call them. But you can go back and go look at these properties. Like, man, this is land bank. Like, they got land, houses. These are RWAs. All right. This land value is a bando for 3,500, and it's negotiable. So, but like I say, they'll probably hit you with a contract so you can rehab it. I don't know. Even if it does, if you do rehab it, just think about it. Like that adds to the value. That's a RWA, and you don't got no mortgage. You just rehabbing something. So this is just, and you don't gotta do this. I'm just giving you avenues of getting RWAs. All right. Most of the people I talk to are either in Maryland or Atlanta. Trey, what's the closest major city by you?
Orlando.
All right. All right, here you go. Here's the state sales in Orlando. If you know how to pick antiques and stuff, cool. You know, it's a good one that I wanted to do.
Mm.
Them them storage unit auctions.
Oh, facts. Yeah, like the storage wars type.
Yeah, like man,
Yeah.
I always wanted to do that. Cause people be finding some nice
I'm
stuff.
trying to say there's probably some RWAs in there, boy.
It's a
Right,
lot. It's probably somebody that died that probably had all their stuff in storage that
right. Look in
they
Melbourne, Florida, or like on this because like I live close to the beach, so like on the other side, like on the island side, there's a lot of rich people and like there are a lot of older, you know, because Melbourne, I feel like a place a lot of people come and retire type thing. A lot of people be dying around her.
all right. Let's see.
Are those all
Surfboard,
auctions?
paddleboard.
Right. Hey, some
Damn.
surfboards be expensive sometimes, bro.
Thanks.
I ain't trying to get nothing too big unless you're gonna get somebody to carry it out with you, like antique, something
Right.
antique. But you can find an antique appraisal. There you go, RWAs. Especially if you got a collection of antiques, like some
Yeah.
people got living room full of stuff. That'll be dope.
Facts.
However, so this website here is just showing you estate sales all around. And then with estate sales, you're not buying at market price. Just like land, you're not buying at market price, you're auction. So basically everything is under negotiation. So you don't gotta break the bank just to get it. However, if you know the value, buy it and then get it appraised. You know, there you go. But that's if you're into tokenization. If you don't want to do tokenization, go after commodities. Go after certain cryptos that's going to be used for strictly payments. If you do that, that'll ease the burden of being accredited. That'll ease the burden of actually using it rather than you just holding something that somebody else gotta use. And you're holding it because you're thinking I need to get rich or this gonna be useful for the other person. So yeah, it's kind of why in the Clarity Act they said cold wallets won't be insured, just so people won't do that. I'm just gonna take my ball and sit in the corner. So that's what it like. These things got to be used. So um, Ripple is not y'all friend, man. I'm just gonna say it out loud. Ripple is not y'all friend. If you buy an XRP and if you're not looking to get in accredited, it is no way you're gonna be using XRP. And a lot of people say things like, "Oh, it wasn't meant for retail." So either two things got to happen: either you got to get rid of it because it's not meant for retail, or you can no longer be a retail investor. So that's the only two decisions you're gonna have to make if you are acquiring or buying anything on XRP Ledger that's dealing with securities. But don't wait until everything starts transpiring to be like, "Oh, he was right." Actually start doing your due diligence on it, like what tokenization is, even what Ripple is doing, um, like all of that. Just start doing your due diligence because it's like you can't say things like, "I mean, it wasn't meant for retail," but you still buying it as a retail investor. Because if it's meant for institutions, all right, what are the institutions doing with it? They're tokenizing, so you need to be tokenizing too if you're into that. So that's all I'm saying about that. And you seen how Brad Garlinghouse just became an advisor for the Treasury Department. So that's why I say, man, Ripple is not your friend. Like they are really moving only for accredited investors and higher. They really don't care about retail. They don't need them. So that's something to think about. Before I go on, do you got any questions? Like, would y'all like for me to put this list inside the
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, at least like the state sales net, like the website, we could just look up where to go.
All right, so Black Cloud, outskirt land. Yeah. All right, so let me show that next. All right. When you on cheap lands, do not go outside these states. I keep saying PA, Arkansas. I think Tennessee. I think they got one, but don't go outside those states. Florida, but it's hard to find land in Florida because they like little small, little wooded lands.
Or it'll be like swampland and you can't do nothing with it. You bought just a
It
piece
don't
of
matter.
land.
It's still as long as as long as it's not landlocked, it don't matter, bro. Cause you ain't gonna. All you doing is using the equity.
Oh, just land banking it. I got you.
Yeah, basically, that's all you doing. That's all. What what's your boy name? Bill Gates,
Yeah, facts. Bought up all that farmland.
right?
He's the number one. What I think he did it more for is the water rights. But
Basically, that's what it is.
that's a whole
That's
nother
what it
thing
is.
though.
All right. Now that you said that,
Yeah, you know me. You know me, bro. I'm not. We get into it.
no, I'm just saying. Now you brought it up. All right. Money is gonna come energy. Energy is there's gonna be another source of energy for as far as like oil and all that. It's got to be something else. Water is the biggest one.
Yes,
Because
sir,
what do you
bro.
need water to cool off? You need water to
The
cool off
data
these data
centers
centers.
for AI, bro.
You see
Did
what
you
I'm
see
saying?
the other day how they hit in the UAE they hit the AWS server, like, so now data centers
Yeah,
are becoming like a target. I
right.
wanted to talk to you about that the other day too, but I was just busy. But
But
now
yeah, so that's
they're strategic in the war now. They're hitting like cloud centers, which is
all
crazy. It
right.
made Anthropic go down for a
And
couple
what's the
hours, which was
biggest
just enough
cloud
what they
service right
needed type
now?
of thing.
The
Yeah.
biggest cloud Amazon Web Service.
Amazon, Oracle.
All right.
Yeah, bro. I'm already knowing, bro.
Right. So what I'm saying is I'm just piggybacking off what you said. So
Oh
basically
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
Bill Gates is buying up all this land because as long as your land touch the water, you have rights to that water.
Facts. And the subsurface rights too. If there's water
Right.
underneath it, like for the wells.
Right. You have rights. You have access to that water. All
Yep.
right. So that's the new money, energy, water. Um, that's why I showed y'all Finland, like what Finland doing with moving electricity through the air. Like, hey, this is the new way. And now that you brought it up, I'm probably spelling that wrong. Kilowatt dollar. Yeah, I haven't spelled it wrong. Sorry. Energy back money. I ain't gonna go too deep in this. This is something that y'all can. I'm gonna copy this and put it in the chat. All right. Like, let me see. Let me see. So Henry Ford wanted the money, the dollar, to be backed by energy, the kilowatt dollar. However, in addition to that, Bill Gates is pushing the kilowatt dollar as well. But I ain't gonna really go deep diving into this because I don't want to be here too long. But this is something. This link will be something that you guys can look into. Where I'm like, hey, money will become energy, and that's why we were talking about Bitcoin the other day with Black Sheep. I think this is where Bitcoin can actually have some strong utility because a lot of these Bitcoin farms, well, they're mining, but they have a lot of solar energy, solar farms hooked up to them. So by you harvesting all that free energy, if you can peg it to the back of a Bitcoin, and you see what I'm saying? It don't matter the network because the network, whatever the network is, it don't matter. But if you could peg the actual, tokenize the actual energy on the actual currency, they exchange that energy, especially when it comes to this right here. um, ISO 5001 energy management. All right. This is what ISO 222 is pegged to. Not pegged to as if like both of them got to work. If this don't work, that don't work. It's the fact that we know cryptocurrency or digital currency is internet money, but the internet takes energy. So that's what it's about. And if you look up, y'all remember when it's two events that happened. One was the Wyoming.
Oh,
I
Jackson
think I
Hole.
showed y'all this. Um,
You talking about Jackson Hole for like when
nah,
they? Oh,
Wheaton.
oh, the rare earths. Okay, okay.
All right. If y'all could do some research on here and figure out, I already did it. Um, if you could do research and see what these metals are and what they use for, basically these metals are used for military weapons and things like that. Just another energy source. All right. And if you can go see, remember when Ukraine president came to America and he was sitting with Trump and Vance? What's bro name? Vance. I don't know his name, bro. The vice president. Um,
JD Vance.
JD
JD.
Vance is like, hey, I'm not. He told him I'm not trying to sell Ukraine because they wanted those RWAs. But if you go look at what RWAs are in Ukraine, and you be like, oh, what it's used for? Man, them RWAs are more expensive than they up there with gold. Like they're very expensive. Like the metals and the rare earths that they want, because the entity that controls the most rare earths is China, and China cut our water off last year. But only thing that's keeping us afloat, or let not say afloat, but like as so-called superpower that we think we are, but we really not. We really a third world country, is the fact that the oil, we control oil. We don't produce the most of it, we just control the most, especially with the Venezuela thing. But now that countries are finding other ways of powering their countries and using other ways of trading, this is where the Iran thing come in at, and the circle economy. Now this analog thing, this analog economy that we're in, this capitalism that everybody think we're in, this mass production, it's finna start having caps on it. Just like the crypto market got caps. The analog, the when you buy chicken, eggs, when you buy bread, everything will have a cap on it. That's why everything is becoming subscription based. That's why I'm like, if I go buy like some, if I get a promotion on YouTube and I want to buy something, they'd be like, "Hey, if you subscribe to it, you get a cheaper price. But if you buy a one-time price, it'll be way higher because they want you to,
Facts. They want
they,
you locked in. That
right? They want
subscription
you to lock.
model,
So
like
that's what I'm
yeah, get paid
saying,
monthly.
right? So if I can get a tally on, hey man, I gotta produce 10,000 mushroom coffees every month or every 3 months to fulfill these subscriptions. Now I don't have to worry about wasting or overproducing. You see what I'm saying?
Facts. Yeah, that
All right,
rise coffee, bruh. Or the
right,
rise, the matcha and everything.
right.
Yeah, bruh. They got me when they first dropped.
Yeah, they got me too. I got it, and then I'm like, "Oh, y'all charging me again?" They're like, "Yeah, cause you." I said,
Same.
"What counts for that?" So,
I low key want to go back to the oil thing that you were saying about like Iran and like how we control the most, and like China is the second biggest one that controls the oil, like China and Russia. So how they're blocking the Strait of Hormuz right now, and how gas prices are kind of going up in America. Every other country, they're gonna be like, I'm gonna start buying from Russia and China, where they already have oil reserves, because China's been building up a oil reserve this whole time, like with oil reserve and natural gas type of thing. So India started buying already from like from Russia, I mean from China, and then everywhere else is gonna start to follow suit. The only people that are really gonna
what's
start
the
being
common
in trouble.
denominator of
What do you mean? What's the common denominator?
All those countries you just named, they're in BRICS, so they
Oh
all
yeah,
moving.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're already
Um,
not fucking with the U.S. because the people that are going to be in trouble are like the EU because they don't have no gas. They don't have. And they really depended on the Middle East for majority of their natural resources because it's
now you
right there
see
type of
why.
thing. So yeah,
Now
they're
you see
clapped.
why France trying to lead France trying
Trying
to
to
lead
leave the
NATO
EU. Yeah,
or
they're trying
NATO
to leave NATO.
because they're like, hey man, uh, Africa already kicking us out of their oil. Like,
Facts. All their resources too. Nobody wants all these countries in their business no more. They want to start being sovereign.
but what China start doing is start building alliances with these countries and
Facts. Yeah, China has been heavy in Russia in Africa, bro.
all right.
The Chinese
So,
done bought up all the infrastructure in Africa.
well, the thing is, it ain't like they sold it, like they took over or nothing. Like they building roads, they're building sewage, like
Yeah,
they're
that's what
really
I'm saying. They're building up the
modernizing.
infrastructure, so
Right.
they control the infrastructure of Africa.
So, but that's what you do. Basically, what's happening is America been bullying everybody at recess, and now is the time that everybody at recess is just finna gang up on this bully. And he probably got two, three partners, and
Yeah,
one of them ran away like Canada did. Like, hey, bro, you by yourself. I'm about to go join them and jump you. And that's exactly what's happening. So, again, I don't want to talk about USD, but all this leads to not the yes, the fall of USD, but the transformation of what fiat is, what the circle economy, all that is
uh,
transferred. So, and basically it's like, hey man, this Iran shit is finna usher in everything we've been talking about. It's just gonna be a domino effect to where you're gonna start
uh,
seeing things be exposed, like, oh, ain't no money in the bank.
so I
And
did
that's
see that the
been a
other day too. That banks they started having like shortages, and they were saying like, oh, it might be slow on our end, about getting money out. But they
right.
don't want to, push that out in mass news because they don't want bank runs and things like that. The
They
only
don't
reason I
want
seen
that.
that was from like X, and I was like, dang, you know,
Now you see, all right, y'all can read this. As of March, the Federal Reserve
yep,
maintains a zero reserve requirement ratio. It used to be a
crazy.
10-90 split.
Yeah, you had to have 10%
So you got a T, you had to hold 10%.
in the
This is
bank.
the
Yeah,
using
the bank had to
this
have that
right here.
on. That's
My bad.
crazy. That's free money, bro. They're giving the money away.
But that's what's gonna drive inflation through the roof right here. Is because now I don't have to I could just keep loaning out. That's why the debt deficit keep growing because
Yeah,
I don't have
they're
to
just
hold
printing
nothing.
infinite money.
That's all it is. So that's why I say it's no reason anybody in this call should be saving. Everybody should be investing. Yeah, pay your bills, this and that and that. But if you got $100,000 in the savings account, not in a life insurance policy, not in something that's gonna be transferred to the blockchain, please do not
Facts.
get mad or think somebody doing something to you when you are reading this right here, letting you know that banks are not allowed to, they're not required to hold no money in the bank. So that means none of
Which
your
is
money is in the bank.
insane. That's so crazy, bro.
All
That's
right.
so crazy.
And this happened in like 2020, 2021, and something like that, something early. So it's been like that. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
what
saying.
really COVID changed a lot of things,
Right.
like how we had kind of talked about this too, but like COVID was really one of the main drivers and like starting the like I want to say like revolution, but like kind of starting the domino effect, and it's just kind of like
It's an
on point.
evolution.
Yeah, evolution, yeah.
Evolution.
Yeah,
Because
like
that's what
we
we
had to
went on
kill
world
off a lot
for.
of people. People had to die, and so we could restart this. And then that's when they also, for the market, they put on algo trading. So like now, it's all computers trading the market, and because before March 2020, like people were still on the Wall Street trading floor, and people are still there, but like it's mostly algorithms and computers running the trades now. And so like things like that, just making everything kind of automated and like slowly automating things. and AI now is like the next big thing, and AI is in everything now.
All
Like
right, you ever heard
you're
of
gonna
this?
start to see more and more. Yeah,
All right,
yeah, BlackRock.
this is this is the algorithm they call Aladdin.
Mhm.
Right, but this is full of tokenization. Like this is why I keep bringing up the Dallas Stock Exchange and stuff like that. All right, let me
Mhm.
get back in here. I don't want to make sure I ain't missing no questions. I'm sorry if I have. Um, so COVID, yeah, COVID was a stress test for Black Sheep. The next stress test is going to be the Olympics. The Olympics. What else? It's something else we having
The
for the
FIFA,
Olympics.
the World Cup.
FIFA. Yeah, right, right, right. Is it in America?
Yeah, they're having it. Yeah, they're having it here. I forgot what. LA, right? In LA. Yeah, I remember it was in Georgia and in Atlanta and then
Mm,
LA.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like you got to think with the Olympics. That's 5 billion people tuning in to this one event.
Facts.
That's a lot of data I could record. I could stress the system. I can, but we got to be fully on a circle economy. Cause think about it. If we stayed in a capitalist society right now, cause I used to think about that as a kid. They'd be like, "Oh, all the pollution in the ocean and this." I'm like, "How did it get there?"
Facts. Somebody had to put it there.
Somebody had to put it there. So
That's a
whoever
fact.
put it there, let's go check them about it. But it's like we're mass producing. We can't even. This is why I like Singapore so much because they burn a lot of their wasted trash to create more energy, to create
Mm.
clean energy. Um, not that probably an expensive system they got. So I don't
But they have
know
the money for it. Singapore is one of like the richest countries.
because they don't want everybody poor. They want everybody contributing. And what's happening is
Fact-
America want everybody poor, or they want everybody incompetent. This is what it is. Like it
Facts.
is what it is. You know. So, um, yeah, this energy thing is gonna be huge. It's just now you got to start changing your consciousness, and that's exactly what he's talking about when it comes to COVID and things. The ideology has changed. Everything changed. You know, the way we, the way we clean, the way everything changed. Um, because during COVID, that GameStop thing that really changed the markets.
Bro, facts. Yeah, when retail really came in and like people could see like, oh, retail can change things.
I was looking for that boy. I said, man, bruh, this hit me up. Like, if you finna pump it, let me know.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta make some bread.
Telling
But
you.
when I seen that boy in court, I said, oh yeah, I'm glad I ain't touch it. I'm glad, but I was looking for that boy. I said, man, I don't know what group y'all got, but
Hey, Wall
please,
Street bets that the Reddit.
yeah. But after that came out, that's when apes to the moon and all them, man. It's like, bro, I ain't got time, bro. So that's why I say I was the number one crypto bro. I was the number one. I'm talking about all American uh crypto bro. But it's like I had to lose everything to realize that hey, this is not what it is. Like this is bigger than that. It's bigger than just uh holding crypto. You gotta use it. So now you gotta figure out how to use it. But tokenization is going to be one of those things that's going to be a slippery slope for a lot of retail investors who are not trying to be accredited or not trying to buy RWAs.
Facts.
So, but it's plenty blockchains that's only for payments. It's plenty. You don't gotta just sit here and buy Ethereum and XRP and all these. You don't gotta do all that. There's plenty of blockchains that's only for payments. And once you become accredited, crypto is the last thing you're gonna be worried about. You'll be like, man, there's so much opportunity.
There's so many, yeah. Once you get a credit,
Like,
there's so many things you can invest in that regular
like
people can't.
you think that Taiwanese company, that chip company, you think they don't got subsidiaries under their
The
belt that you
TMC,
can? Yeah, like it's so much stuff that you can get into that you probably don't be like, oh man, y'all doing this. Especially like Lockheed Martin. Like, hey man, let me invest in that alien technology that you got. So it's stuff like that. Like, it's so much stuff. Like you ain't gonna be worried about no crypto and oh, this is gonna make me rich. No, it's just gonna be acquiring. That's all it is. But
facts.
I just don't want people to think I'm gonna hold and sit on this crypto and not better myself in other areas. So I'm not gonna increase my knowledge. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not even if you like coding, like if you know how to code, like you'll be so far ahead. Like if you know how to code, if you know the language of coding, because it's so many. You could be a private contractor and be like, hey,
Bro, everything is code.
yeah, you be like, hey man, I just want to code, and they be like, oh, AI gonna code. No, they ain't. Not like that. AI, we gonna get there, but it's not like that right now.
Bro, but that's why they took out that data center because the CIA and like defense contracting, like even the Pentagon, they were running Anthropic. They're running Claude code, bro. So like they're using all of that. Like I'm using Claude code right now as we speak. But like they're using that to get work done, like send strikes, send encrypted messages, like the things that you could do, because everything is just code. When you have these things in files and like you could share files and you could rewrite files and access the internet, bro, the things that you could do with Claude code is unreal.
If you rip your phone screen off, it'll be a white screen there. It's
Yeah.
something called a digitizer. So it's a whole bunch of the matrix. That's all it is.
Bro, it's the yeah, bro. It's literally the Matrix. I was telling somebody that the other day. I was like, bro, literally, it's just anything you want, you could get it, bro. Like it's so easy. You just code it, bro. Like everything is just code. If you look deep, like even how we're talking right now, bro, like it's just code, like ones and
Reason, all
zeros,
right.
and
So now that you said that, all right. If you saying all right, basically what you're saying is when we speak in numbers because sound is measured in decimals in hertz. That's numbers.
and frequencies. Yeah.
Frequency is just codes. It's numbers. That's all it is. Numbers is the real language. So when you are, I ain't gonna really speak on too much about it, but let's just say the quantum consciousness when it comes to your brain waves.
Hmm.
Like I was in the Grand Canyon, and I tell people, man, if you go out there, and if you got any like problems, it's only gonna be amplified because the frequency that's coming off that canyon. I don't know what's in that canyon, but man, it's a lot of people that kill themselves out there. You know, and I ain't trying to go dark, but I'm just saying like it's amplified. If you think positive about yourself, it'll be amplified. But a lot of people come out there drinking, and I ain't gonna lie to you, liquor is way cheaper than food out there.
Mm.
Cause I don't drink, but man, I was finna buy that cactus vodka. I was about to say, man, let me see what these Navajo people making, you know. But it is what it is. But I'm just saying, like, basically, just the frequency is changing, and that's all it is. But on the flip side of everything, everybody in here is competent enough to either understand what's going on, either become accredited, or acquire RWAs. And it is what it is. Ain't nobody finna hold your hand. I'm talking to investors. That's what it is. Um, I would talk about estate planning in a deeper sense. I just don't want to blur the lines of being somebody fiduciary. Even though I'm not being compensated for this conversation, it's just more of I don't want to throw no mixed signals, just to protect my ass. However, eventually we'll be talking about estate planning. Eventually. Um, because you need it. Like you really need a trust. You need multiple trusts set up. You know,
Okay.
especially if you got kids, you really need it. Um, because you really don't want to own nothing. You really want to control everything. So, as a retail investor, you'll own nothing and be happy. But if you are a true investor, you don't really want to own nothing anyway. You just want to control.
Oh, X.
So, anybody got any questions? Sorry for rambling. Sorry. No? Okay. Well, that's perfect timing. An hour, some change. Um, I ain't gonna speak too much on this. But yeah, just keep acquiring. Um, if you really want to get in depth on RWAs, like I'm just showing y'all rabbit holes. But if you like, hey man, show me some more of that cheap land or whatever, then I can, share my screen with you privately. But it's like we really got to get on the ball, cause that's what I'm saying. Like this Iran thing is really exposing us as a third world country. It's really finna show like, oh, we don't produce nothing. Oh, and we saw that with COVID. Oh, we are incompetent. Well, not incompetent, but we are reliant on other countries to feed us. You know what I'm saying? Because America grow good food. It's just that we make more money selling it to other countries, and we bought all the BS from China and Japan and this and that and that, and New Zealand and stuff like that. And that's all it is. Just keep doing your due diligence, keep acquiring. Um, like I said, I'm gonna keep bringing up Upland, is because it's the epitome of all this stuff is becoming. Now, Torn, to answer you probably had a part three, but I'm gonna just piggyback off what you're saying. All right. So, far as RWAs into Upland, you don't own the actual property. You just control the vehicle that the value is going to be moved within that marketplace. Some people won't need to use Upland. However, that doesn't mean other people will. So let's just say that house you bought in Upland, it is broken down to 100 pieces. That 100 pieces, somebody probably take five of their pieces and want to resell it in Upland. So you got to start thinking value is not just coming from America. It's a once decentralized global economy. So value can come from any country, anybody that's within that blockchain. That's the power of the blockchain. That's what I was telling those guys in DC before they ran me out of there. It's like, hey, nobody's controlling nothing. Everybody is independent from each other, you know? And you don't have to sit here and think that somebody finna take care of you. Like, no, like the UBI and stuff is for control, you know, geofencing and stuff like that, the Amazon Sidewalk program, all that stuff. Like, that's what that's for. However, um, Upland is not, you don't own the actual equity. You just control the vehicle. However, these vehicles are going for $3, $5 a piece. You don't gotta go broke buying all these vehicles. However, when it's time for them to repurchase the vehicle from you, you're not gonna sell it for $3, right? You're gonna let it go for a higher price or another crypto. With these cryptos gonna have a higher purchasing power than your $3 USD. That's what I'm saying. So my purchasing power of these cryptos are going to be higher based on the scarcity and the use case. That's why I was talking about bridging. Like, hey, if you look at MetaMask can bridge from Ethereum, the Polygon, the Base, the
Back to Avalanche.
Binance, all of those things. It's a bridge. That's where the
X.
interoperability come in at. All right. Uh, like I'm gonna show y'all this before we get off. I forgot to show y'all this. All right. Let's see. All right. I don't know how to use OpenSea because I don't really care for it. Um,
I remember I used to be on OpenSea heavy, bruh.
right. All
Back when
right. So
NFTs dropped.
right now you see this. All right. So now look.
You look pretty. No, you look pretty. Type in my name. No,
Yeah, my icon, my Discord
All right.
icon is actually an NFT. It might still be on OpenSea, to be honest.
Same, bro.
All right. So y'all notice how all these NFTs, the price is all Ethereum.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no USD price on these NFTs. So what I'm saying is all you got to do is replace the NFT ain't nothing but a vehicle. Just replace the actual vehicle with a RWA. So now instead of crypto punks being 29 ETH, the RWA will be this how much value it takes to move this crypto punks across. You see what I'm saying? To transfer it into another wallet. That's what the smart contract is about. Like you have to realize that. Now you got to take all these cryptos because all these gonna go away. All these because ain't no RWAs and we don't know, but especially the Board Apes Club, ain't no RWAs. We know this is a scam. Um,
Yeah, the floor fell for that, bro. Those things
right.
used to be for millions. Now it's worth like barely 100.
Because there's nothing on the back of these NFTs.
Yeah. They just wanted to join the club. Literally. That
That's
was
all it
it.
is. But now that that whole crypto bro to the moon phase of NFTs and all that is over, now you got to actually have something of substance on the back of these NFTs, which is RWAs. And if you don't got no RWAs, is no reason for you to be creating NFTs, blank NFTs. I don't care how good it look on the outside. Something has to be pegged from the real world to on the back of this NFT.
So for Upland, like basically when you buy like the properties and everything there as an NFT. So are they just stored on Upland or can you transfer them to like,
Yeah,
like your
yeah.
MetaMask or Coinbase type of thing?
Not right now, but yeah, they're not.
Okay.
Man, listen, Upland is not trying to get rippled, man. And they
That's
tell you that, hey, bro, we is not trying to get spanked by the SEC. So we finna keep
facts.
everything into Upland until the time right. And if you go ask them anything, they'll tell you, hey, man, we ain't trying to move bridge stuff around and ICO and all that right now. And eventually we will. But as of right now, I ain't trying to get spanked. I ain't trying to have no 4 5 year court case like Ripple. All right. So, and then that's not saying Ripple a bad company. It's just that, you know, tokenization. Ripple kept, hey, man, Trump sued Ripple. It wasn't Biden. That was Trump. All right. So this is the transaction ID. All right. So the block time status. I'm trying to go to the old one. This is the Upland version. I'm trying to go to the EOS one. Let me go to an older company. I mean, an older NFT. Let me get out of London and go to Kansas or Dallas. Let's go to Dallas. I'm gonna be brief. I don't want y'all to. I just want to answer his question. All right. So if I go here, my street title. Here we go. So basically, it's on the EOS blockchain. All right. So now I tell you guys, EOS is not EOS no more. It's called Volta. Go overstand them. Go see what they're doing. They're no longer a gaming blockchain anymore. Now they're going into a tokenization of RWAs and finance. So that shows you how serious things are getting. All right, go look how much money Upland raised. Like, it shows you like if this is just a BS game, ain't nobody putting $30 million inside a BS game. Nobody's raising that type of bread, and they haven't raised money since 23. So that should tell you everything. All right, so now to keep adding to your question, all right, you see this?
Yeah.
upload NFTs,
Yeah.
download NFTs, um, reclaim, download NFTs. So this is a portal to bridge everything to MetaMask. Brain
Okay.
Sparkly Dollar Plan. You see this?
Oh, facts. Okay.
My MetaMask wallet. Now MetaMask finna open right here. So this is it. Now this is the official Web3 browser because I got the MetaMask extension on it.
Facts.
Um,
Okay,
but
and you could just buy it. So like if you already had like some Ethereum and you could just bridge it for Sparklet and then bridge it
right,
on onto Upland.
right. And this was crazy with Upland. Like, say if I buy this right here, this barbershop,
Hmm.
I can pay Upland in crypto, but I can't pay other people in crypto because
Oh,
MetaMask is still decentralized. You see what I'm saying? Why that we're not trying
facts.
to get Ripple. Like, we don't want to get no money laundering shit. Another so, but this is the start of it. This shows you like, oh, they accept crypto from me, but I can't pay other users in crypto until a KYC from a blockchain standpoint is implemented, and that's not gonna be implemented until later on.
I'm gonna have to talk to you offline because I have another question about something else as well. But yeah, I don't want to take up any more time.
Man, ask it, bro. That's what this is about.
But it was like just more about like so it kind of went into like taking payments and stuff like that. I want to know if there's a way that I could set up um to take payments like from crypto wallets like for services and things like that off from my website. So like if people come to my website and
Yes,
try to like
sir.
buy something, um
You got a Web3 address?
yeah, I do.
All right, that's one way. Um,
Yes, Charles Cooper. Like yeah, Charles Cooper the third at ETH.
all right, that's one way. That's one way basically to be recognized all over the crypto world. I say the blockchain world metaverse is a Web3 address. So instead of me saying, "Hey man, send me your address," I just copy that address and put it in two, and it'll send it to the whatever wallet you got pegged to that. So now the
Okay.
wallet that's pegged to that address has to be compliant. And I wouldn't do it with a decentralized wallet when
Okay.
it comes to business,
Yeah,
just so
because it's
you
like
don't
if I
get.
wanted people to like if I have like a Stripe API or like a back end and Stripe type of thing, and like it could take already cards and payments like that. I wanted to be able to take like crypto as well.
Well, our financial system hasn't changed yet, but is there peer-to-peer ways of doing that? Yeah, there is, but that's where the smart contracts come in at.
Okay.
So let's just say, um, you trying to buy a house and it's tokenized, right?
Mm.
In the analog world, when you buy a house and somebody try to scam you, you'll send them the money first, and then they won't release the house to you, or they won't send the title
Facts.
to the So in the blockchain world, it don't go like that. The smart contract is already in the back of the NFT, so the smart contract will have it read out. Trey need to send XYZ to this wallet, and once that's executed, the ownership of this asset will be released to Trey's wallet, and it's irreversible and undisputed. All right,
Hmm.
that's why I was showing you this right here. You know,
Facts. Yeah, I remember we were looking at that.
all right, it's irreversible and undisputed. So nobody can reverse this transaction. Is what it is, and that's why people like, man, tokenization, whatever it is, that's what it is. But Upland is the epitome of tokenization. Because whatever it is, that's what it is. All these properties I bought got a high mint price. I'm not paying all that. So I'm just knocking off ducks every day. Like if you got a 30,000 UPX property and you selling it for $3, I'm paying that
Taking it.
$3. But in the future, will there be companies where they're trying to use these NFTs to move their tokenized app value around, especially in OpenSea and stuff? Yes. But in order for them to do that, they have to have the actual vehicle. I'm saying, hey, buy as much of the vehicles as possible. So when the time comes, this will be a marketplace that's going to be parallel to the real economy. Because both of them will have market caps. That's all I'm saying. Uh, any more questions before we sign off? I don't want to leave nobody behind. And don't think you can't ask me anything. You can. It doesn't have to deal with tokenization either. It could be something else. Anybody got any questions? Now it's not the time to be too cool for school. Now's the time to start actually engaging. What's up, Selfie? I ain't see you. Sorry.
Hey, no problem.
You got a question, Selfie?
Uh-uh.
All right.
No, I'm
Um,
good. I don't, I'm just getting it all back up.
All right,
yeah.
so what you know about like the created NFTs, like my graphic work?
You got to have some type of asset on the back of it. So that's what Isaiah was talking about the other day or the other week was he want to create NFTs to put his t-shirt companies. Like he want to create t-shirts and put them on the back of those NFTs. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got that already too. That's my company, to my online store.
All right.
But I can also do graphic, like real digital graphic work for artwork.
Right. But it has to be something physical on the back of that. Physical just means ownership, some type of ownership. It could be a digital product. I don't know. Whatever you have. But I'm saying his idea was I create t-shirts and I want to transfer the value of these t-shirts, especially if you're a brand that everybody likes. You know what I'm saying? Now, boom. Just like Trey was talking about with the APIs from Stripe and all of them, Visa. I tell you what, man, go look what Visa, MasterCard, look at what they doing with blockchain. Look what Stripe doing with blockchain. Like the tempo, like that blockchain they built that has no native currency for stable coins. Go see what that's about. See what DoorDash doing. You see what I'm saying? So, but creating just all these NFTs with no asset on the back of it, no ownership of nothing else, all you doing is creating a pretty picture. That's all it is. Something has to be on the back of these NFTs. But that's what RWA come in at, the real world asset. So the equity of these RWAs are moving on the back of these NFTs. So, all right. But if you got, I ain't gonna talk about your other ideas. We'll talk about that privately, as far as like the cannabis and stuff.
But I got you on that. Yeah, we're looking on
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Um. But yeah. Anybody else got any questions?
Yeah, so look, so what the first steps to starting the Web3 address?
All right. So that wallet you set up,
Uh-huh.
you got it's a button on there that say Discover at the bottom. You gonna click Discover, and that's gonna open up a Web3 browser inside the app. And you're gonna go to Unstoppable Domain, or you can go to Ethereum name service. But that's something I have to set up with you on a personal, because it'll take some.
Okay,
All
Oh
right, and then
yeah.
once you
I
get
What
your
got
wa-
web,
what
I'm
wallet you
listening.
talking about? You can get a name service with.
He got a cold wallet.
Oh, you can get name services with cold wallets. I
Yeah, you just
suppose you
pay it
can.
to. Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
every cold wallet app got a web browser in it.
Oh, well, I just used Coinbase and got Ethereum.
Right.
It just got my
So
make sure I captured my name.
you'll just say you got an Ethereum wallet on your decent, and you'll just peg that Web3 address to your decent wallet.
And just to go on top of that, you can use your Web3 domain also for payment, receiving crypto and sending crypto.
Right. It could be for NFTs. You know what I mean? Like when whatever. Like anything on the blockchain that's pegged to the blockchain, and they sending it to you. If even if it's just in time dot crypto or dot wallet, that Web3 address will be recognized by that one wallet. That's why I say tokenization is decentralized. It's not centralized. So
Yes, sir.
please don't think just because Ripple and all of them are um even BlackRock, all them are pegging all this value to the blockchain. Don't think that that value is going to reflect on your coins. Like, no, you got to have your own tokens, but you can do that by acquiring RWAs, not for market price, but for pennies on the dollar. So, and stocks, if you're not accredited, you don't really own stocks. You really own a derivative, unless somebody gifted you some private stocks or
Facts. The
stocks.
brokerage owns the stock.
Right. Unless
Yeah.
the actual company write your name down in a book entry form and says
Facts.
that Trade owns this much equity stocks in this company, which can be verified by the SEC. All right. So,
Facts.
other than that,
And
nothing
look,
wrong with
that's
derivatives. I'm listening.
I feel saying that's the type of company that probably haven't went private. I mean, went public yet, right?
Public, yeah. Right.
Okay.
Man, Uh, if you look at the stock chat, I hit a short on Walmart today. Well, I been bought it. I just swung it, and I was like, man, this stuff it gotta fall. It's been pumping too hard. All this bad news coming out, and from the technical analysis from Genius, I said, yeah, I'm finna short this mug, and I did. So and I ain't really trading like that. I'm just playing with house money right now, so I'm just doing what I can. I'm just swinging trades, bro. So, but yeah, if anybody don't have any questions, I don't want to hold y'all too long. All right. Um, but I guess that's it. Isaiah.